All right, last video. All right, totally forgot about the Cotto and Mikey Garcia talks. Okay, um, I really don't have a problem with the fight because Cotto is just a name at this point, and he is not a true contender. Okay, as far as the rankings are concerned, he is not holding any titles hostage. Okay, I don't expect him to fight an elite fighter at 154 or 160. I just don't see it. All right, I know people are gonna call him out because of his name. Of course, guys like Jamel Charlo and Demetrius Andrade and Lara, all those guys would love to fight Cotto, and then even at 160, guys like Triple G, guys like Daniel Jacobs, of course they would love to fight Miguel Cotto because he has a name. I wouldn't even be surprised if Canelo fought him in a rematch, just to lead up to a Triple G rematch. I just wouldn't be surprised, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if Cotto fought Saunders. I don't know. But Mikey Garcia, I think Mikey is extremely good. Okay. The thing is, at first I was trying to, before I even jumped to the whole weight factor in this fight, I try to think of it like this. Who would I thought, who would I think would win in a fight between Mikey and Cotto in his prime when he was around Mikey's size, current size? Okay. Cotto is still naturally bigger. I believe Cotto started at 140. I don't think he ever fought below 140. All right. Mikey started, I believe, at 126 or something like that. He might have even started lower than that, but I've been watching him since he's been fighting at 126. And, Mikey just recently fought Broner at 140, and he's not a big guy at 140. He can easily still fight at 135, easily. But Mikey he's looking to get a big fight at this point. He fought Broner. It was kind of random, you know, and he just wanted to fight a big name, and it worked for him. He did extremely well against Broner. Okay, but let's say if he fought a Cotto that was at 140. It's arguable where you're gonna go with Cotto and where his prime was. Was it at 140 when he moved up to 147 before he fought Margarito? I don't really know. I thought he fought the better fighters at 147. I thought Cotto at his best was at 147. All right, but even at 140, he was very good at 140, and Mikey's at 140 now. If they would have fought Cotto in his prime against Mikey Garcia right now at 140, who do you think it would win? I'm actually literally asking the viewers that question because I want to see that in the comments. At 140, at Cotto's prime, who's better? Okay, just want to know. Just curious what you guys think because I was thinking about it and I'm really not sure. You know what? I am sure. I think Cotto's still a little better. I think Cotto's still better at his prime than what Mikey Garcia is right now, or ever been. Okay, I think he's still a little better, and I still think Cotto fought much better fighters. Okay, even before he was defeated, he still fought much better fighters when they were much better in their careers. Okay, but I do believe that Mikey would have been a good competitor, a good fighter for Cotto, and has a chance of beating him. I wouldn't say it's 50-50 though. Not in their prime. Okay? Now, Cotto obviously is far from his prime. He's far past it, but he's still very, very good. He still had a very good fight with Canelo. That was recently. Okay? And he's fighting at 154. Okay? He was bigger then, and he's much bigger now. All right? He's used to fighting bigger guys. Mikey, who was a puncher, all right, he's a puncher at 126 all the way up to 140 still. He didn't drop Broner or anything like that, but he busted Broner up pretty good. I don't know, man. I don't know. If weight wasn't an issue, I still think Cotto is right there with Mikey. He's at least able to compete with Mikey, even at this age. And this is why I would lean towards him to be better than Mikey in his prime. I still think at this age, even if we're not even talking about size, just straight pound for pound talk, I still think that Cotto at this age is still very competitive, very like on the same level as a Mikey Garcia. You know, I think Cotto today would beat Adrian Broner, if not as bad. You know, just as bad, maybe even worse. Today, the old man would beat Adrian Broner, and we just saw Mikey Garcia beat Adrian Broner, pretty easily. All right. I think it's a good matchup. It doesn't really do anything for me. It does a lot for Mikey. It does a lot for Mikey. It doesn't really do much for Cotto. You know, if Cotto wins, he wins. It's his last fight. You know, I mean, I love Cotto. I would probably support the fight because it's Miguel Cotto and his last fight. And going into it, we would know that is his last fight. This is his retirement fight. And if he does fight here in New York, you know, being that Cotto is one of my favorite fighters of all time, has been my favorite active fighter for years now. I still never actually see him fight live before. I never watched Cotto fight live before. So I would go to this fight. But win or lose, it doesn't really do anything for him, and it's not a legacy fight. You know, you beat Mikey Garcia. Mikey coming up to 154. He looked very soft at 140. So him coming up to 154 would just mean that I don't know what he walks around at, but he might not even walk around at 154. And if Mikey is going to fight Cotto, Mikey should still try to stay in the 140s. You already lost. You already have a size disadvantage here. Why blow yourself up, become slower? You know, I don't think that would be the right tactic as far as, you know, training and prepare for the fight as far as weight is concerned. Cotto, not a big guy at 154, was never a big guy at 154. I've always thought that Cotto should have stayed at 147, okay? He's just not a true 154 pounder. But I've seen him come a couple pounds less than 154, preparing for a 154 fight, okay? Do I think size is going to play a huge factor? Not really. Cotto is not really a weight bully. But I'll tell you this, where it will play a factor is if Mikey can't hurt Cotto, okay, which is a huge possibility, which I think is likely to happen if they were to fight. I don't think Mikey can really hurt Cotto. All right, Cotto's been fighting much bigger punches for years. Okay, if Cotto is not unbothered by Mikey's power, Cotto will be more willing to take risks in that fight. If we're gonna see the bull Cotto, you know, the Cotto that fought like guys like Paulie Malignaggi or Carlos Quintana, if we're gonna see that version, Alfonso Gomez, a Cotto that's just ruthless, you know, even a Daniel Gill, a Cotto that's ruthless, that's coming forward, that's going to the body and throwing combinations, and don't have much respect for his opponent's punching power like he did against a Canelo. If we see that Cotto, I don't think Mikey would stand much of a chance. I don't think Mikey would be able to take his power, okay? And I think Cotto would be very successful. But it's not a legacy fight for him. You know, it wouldn't do anything. It's a good farewell fight, I guess, if he is to perform well. But if he is to lose that fight, that would be disastrous to me, in my opinion. You know, for Mikey to go from 135 to one fight at 140 to go up to 154. And he's just naturally not a big guy. You know, he's not a big fighter at 140. He's not even big at 135. He's a fair size at 135. Okay? I think that would be pretty bad for Cotto and his career, and to go out losing to a Mikey Garcia who's coming up, who's willing to come up to fight him at weight. So I think, not that I think it's bad, it would be bad if Cotto loses, but, you know, it's not a fight. If I support the fight, I'm just supporting Miguel Cotto. You know, I like Mikey too, but I'm supporting Cotto as a fan, and I would want to see him fight whoever he's going to fight if he does choose to fight here in New York. But as far as legacy is concerned, it really doesn't do anything. And he may, you know what, he may not even be looking for a legacy fight at this point. maybe it's just a farewell fight. Mikey is hot right now. He's fresh off of an Adrian Broner win. Okay, so it makes sense for Mikey to get this fight because Mikey is just hunting for names right now. That's what he's doing. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the Garcias fight, like a Mikey versus Danny Garcia, Mikey is willing to just go up and just take chances for the money and for the recognition. You know, he doesn't seem like he's the guy that's just sitting back and just waiting for a title shot. He's looking to fight whoever is going to give him more recognition at this point. You know, and he's willing to take risks. I think even though with the Adrian Broner fight, I think I predicted Mikey to win, but at the same time, it still was a risky fight for him. You know? So anyway, let me know what you guys think on this fight. And, you know, I gave you my thoughts already. Make sure you hit subscribe. I'm out.